My people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PPN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
PPN on your bumper.
I'm Tom MacDonald. This is the Patriot Prayers Network. Check it out. Lots of good TV. Lots of cool people. Tune in. Keep it locked.
I'm the white boy with the middle fingers in the air, dog. We don't give a what. 100 white boys gonna hold me down anywhere, dog. We think that you suck. My Patriots the craziest. They ain't afraid of breaking fists on faces. If you really wanna taste of this, no safety tip. The same mistake and spray the clip. I pray you miss, cause if you don't, they gon' go wacko. Automatic gun smoke like tobacco. Never hit a lady, but it's pretty hard to tell if you're a girl or a they, them. There's these, that, those. I ain't never gonna take a knee for the anthem. Smack them. I don't give a damn, can't stand them. Gang full of randoms. Fan with a handgun. Run up in your mansion, leave it all abandoned. I was raised to be brave to the grave. United States, we love the country that they've been corrupting. Go woke and go broker if you ain't obeyed. My people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American flags. American flags. American flags.
Before we get to that, I'm your host. It's my co-host, Steve. How you doing today, Steve?
Bro, I am so pumped for tonight. I cannot wait to get started. So many people have been so hyped up, dude. I promoted the heck out of this, so let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Basically, what we want to cover tonight are a couple conspiracy theories. My favorite, basically tying in everything we've been witnessing as a country over the past 50, 60 years. Granted, I've only been alive for 33 of them. But through declassification of files, speculation, online theories, we can come to the conclusion that our government has been infiltrated by possibly demonic entities, separated us from God, destroyed marriage rates, have been sacrificing children through abortion, and as of late through gender-affirming care, and plan to reveal themselves as aliens very soon. So it is going to be a fun topic tonight. We're going to discuss all of that and more. But I do want to bring up our guest, Tom MacDonald. How you doing today, Tom?
You all right, Tom?
Man, it has been a couple weeks.
It's a pretty loaded topic, guys. I mean, fuck. We might need all night for this one.
I'm good with it.
It's going to get heavy because there have been several operations by our own government that not only have been experimenting on the public, but overtly was seeking out demonic entities. They were using our tax dollars to find witches, to find Satanists, and to have them perform these rituals in order to find these kinds of entities. And it sure seems like if we were able to look at our society from the very beginning of this, okay, and this is kind of where I want to start, you guys.
How far back we going, Mo?
Okay.
Just the creation of this country.
Okay.
I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah,
We're talking about ancient aliens or something. All right, we're good.
No. Not quite back that far. But our founding fathers created a country out of nothing. Right? We can look back, and our society today says that it was created by white men for white men, which I don't really believe, because in the Bible it says, "Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them." Now, what did the founding fathers do? They were born into a world of slavery. They were born into a world of monarchy. And they journeyed across the ocean, colonized land, or maybe I shouldn't say settled land, and
whoa, we throwing around colonizer? Fucking
hell yeah, we are. You wasn't ready for that.
What kind of podcast is this, bro? I thought you guys were on my team.
See, I figured that I'd have to wear the Caucasian shirt since I'm the only one that has a little bit darker skin here. You know, I was like, I'll just sport this. It'll be all right.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Maybe we should actually get our tinfoil hats on here soon. You know.
Oh wait.
And
Should we? Is it time?
It might be.
Should we
time.
shout out the sponsors first?
Yeah,
Well, we got
you know
everybody
what?
hooked in right now.
I guess you guys.
Tinfoil sponsor.
No, but we.
This episode brought to you by Saran Wrap.
Right. Dude, every time I go to the grocery store and I see aluminum hats, or I see aluminum foil, I'm like, man, that's free hats. What's going on?
Yeah. I wore this shirt basically in honor of Tom MacDonald's latest song, White Boy, that he came out with. I don't have the merch yet, but it's going to be coming. So I guess this will do for now, but
I love that shirt, bro.
And I'm just a white boy, so it's cool.
Yeah, we'll actually be creating some of our own merch here soon too. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will give a shout out to our sponsor really quick before we get into this, so that way we can kind of just have a long stream of conspiracy theory from beginning to end. So I'm going to play our commercial here, our Q Broadcasting commercial, and then Quitter, because we actually have two sponsors tonight. So we are brought to you by Q Commercial and Quitter itself. So we're going to play these, and then we're going to get into it.
Heard of Q Broadcast? It's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
And if you're shocked by these two men dying in the pursuit of pleasure, it's more common than you might think. And this issue may lay a lot closer to home than imagined. Porn addiction will mentally kill you long before you reach the same fate as these guys. Quitter is on a mission to take over the industry, help men regain control of their lives, and finally break free from this evil habit. With their in-app 28-day challenge, 500,000 men have already seen incredible changes in their lives, with increased discipline, improvement in ED, and confidence in themselves and in talking to women. Quitting porn doesn't have to be difficult, and with Quitter's cutting-edge app, 28 days is all it takes to enjoy the physical and mental benefits. Now you might be thinking, how do I know if I need help? Well, with Quitter's free porn addiction quiz, you can see how your habits compare to the 500,000 men that they have helped overcome their addiction forever. All you have to do is click the link in the description and download the app and begin the test. Today is the day you'll stop saying I'll quit tomorrow and regain control before it's too late.
Links are in the description, you guys. We are streaming on Q Broadcasting. And as far as the Quitter app, the link is in the description. Now, on X, I don't think it is, but we are streaming on Rumble as well, and YouTube and Facebook, everywhere, basically. So, there's... yeah, links will be in the description. But thank you guys for getting through that. You know, we try to take on sponsors that embody the values that we wish to see in this world. And with Q Broadcasting, I met the owners, and they're good people, good Christians, and share our values. So
Absolutely, man.
I guess we're
man,
just,
the
we're just
chat
trying to
is
embody the
lighting
values.
up.
Yes,
I'm so
it
pumped,
is.
dude. The chat is on fire right now. Like a comment like every 2 seconds is just like boom, 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 boom. I think people like you, Tom.
No, let's fucking go, dude. I'm actually hyped on this. I've been wanting to do a conspiracy joint with you guys for a while, and the one that you guys picked is fucking fire. Stoked on it. But just for future reference, dude, like I'm into all the fucking conspiracy shit. So next time or the time after that or whatever, if you guys got a weird topic coming up, just fuck holler at your boy, dude. I'll be here.
Is it time?
Man, we have we got so many requests for what kind of conspiracy theories we wanted to go over. Yeah. The government controls the weather, the Grand
Project
Canyon,
the MK Ultra, everything, dude.
Dude, the Grand Canyon one I'm super into. MK Ultra I'm super into. The shit, I'm sure you guys have been seeing it. It's like everywhere online right now that there's some like fucking interstellar object that's like they thought it was like an asteroid or some shit, but now there's all these people saying it's not an asteroid, it's fucking aliens, and they're going to be here by November 17th or some shit. Like, there's so much tight stuff going on right now, dude. I feel like there's just an endless amount of content.
Let's be real. If aliens were to try to approach planet Earth, they would drive by and then they would just roll up their little alien UFO windows and then speed off.
I'm not convinced they're not here already, bro. And for whatever reason, they decided to stay.
You think lizard people?
I'm not crossing that off the list at all.
Right.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We will be getting into the aliens a little bit later, but we got to work through the whole story first because
I'll chill on the aliens. All right.
Well, it does tie in. All right, Steve, cue the music. All right, I'm gonna get my tinfoil hat on.
All right.
Shit.
Good.
Good. All right.
Damn.
This is the Cowboys Indians podcast, so
I feel like I need a hat, bro. Fuck.
Hey, Tom, you were supposed to get one, bro.
Yeah, I fucked up. My bad.
It's all right. It's all right.
That's on me, bro. So whatever we talk about today, it's being intercepted.
All right, Mo.
All right, you guys,
let's do it.
Check this out. Our country started by our founding fathers, obviously. Came over from England, born into a world of slavery where their families had owned slaves for generations. The British Empire had ruled the world for 500 years. They sailed across an ocean, settled the wild land, and created one of the greatest nations on God's green earth. They declared to the rest of the world at that time, not only were they sacrificing themselves, but their entire families when they signed the Declaration of Independence, stating that all men are created equal, and that we hold these truths to be self-evident. We went from a society that strove to be something great, right? And I started this off with, wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. Now, this is not going to be where we condemn the founding fathers because they were born into slavery. Obviously, they were striving to be better. They did own slaves, but they made the world a better place. And we went from that society to many abolitionists who decided to fight for equality between Black Americans, white Americans, even Native Americans. I have some ancestry that actually worked with the government to do that. But there was actually a very, I got to pull this up really quick. Let's see here. So Cassius Clay was a famous abolitionist in the early 1800s. And he made an amazing argument to free the slaves. He was basically, let's see, in 1834 in Russell Cave, Kentucky, he had just finished giving one of his famous speeches. And he had a brown sack. And he said, as he pulled out the Holy Bible, he said, "For those of you that believe in the laws of God, I make to you this argument against slavery." Set that on the table. Reached back into his bag, pulled out a copy of the U.S. Constitution, said, "For those of you that believe in the laws of man, I present to you this argument against slavery." sets down the U.S. Constitution. He said, "For those of you who neither believe in the laws of God or man, I make to you this argument against slavery." And he pulled out both of his dueling pistols and set them on the table. We had a country that was willing to die to end slavery. And somehow, since then, we have become a nation where divorce rates are extremely high. We have been separated from the idea that we are created in God's image. And through abortion and gender-affirming care, there has been child sacrifices, you could say. If you wanted to look strictly not at our intentions, but the fruits that we produce as a society, we outsource our labor to overseas slaves. There's more slaves in the world today than there ever was in human history, at least that we know of. And still human sacrifices going on. There seems to be a demonic element to it. And I want to explore with you guys how we got to that point. How we got to this point now, where we are so separated from God, from the idea that we are created in God's image and that we hold these truths to be self-evident, right? And I have a theory that you guys might enjoy, that it was not only through our government, through black book operations, through the CIA, through the FBI, but it was also through the entertainment industry. And I'm sure Tom can shed some light on this because you've been working against the entertainment industry in a lot of ways in order to create your own. And you've kind of almost found your way to God in taking that narrow path, right? Instead of taking the easy way, signing up with a company and letting them rule your world, you decided you're going to take the narrow path, do it on your own. And you found your own success because of that. And it seems that your lyrics, your songs, your motivation has been leaning a little bit more towards the path that God would want you to take. And you've been recognizing him for that. So our government, through the black book operations, the entertainment industry, all of this has led to where we are today.
Correct.
You guys want to go through a couple of the black book operations here?
Let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
You guys aware of Operation Bluebird?
Bluebird. I know Blue Beam.
I know Blue Beam and Blue Book, but not Bluebird.
So Bluebird was basically the predecessor to MK Ultra. It was a 1950 CIA experiment where the CIA was trying to develop split personalities in people through hypnosis, drugs, and psychological torture. They wanted to develop a split personality sleeper agent. You know, we all know the idea of a sleeper agent, and it's now confirmed that the CIA was running Operation Bluebird, which led to several other projects that we are lucky to know about.
Is that the experiment at Stanford or no?
No. This was it was a black book operation. So
different. Okay.
I know that at one point, like, it might have even been like in San Francisco or some shit. I remember at one point they were putting like LSD in the water or something, and it was like a small. It was like a small.
Still are now.
And I guess we sort of like graduated past that. Now we just put fluoride in the shit, but same.
Well, you actually have an argument there because it is said that fluoride helps kind of dull our senses, right? It says that it dulls our third eye, our intuition, the connectivity we have with God or other dimensions as well. So
it like calcifies part of your brain or something.
Pineal gland, which is believed to be the way that it's our third eye. Yeah, exactly. So that was a fun operation that the CIA ran, which led to Project Artichoke, which you guys can look all this up. This is 100% conspiracy fact. Okay. The CIA was testing how to control and manipulate the human psyche again through sleep deprivation, drugs, more psychological torture, a lot of sexual assault, since it was done in this in the way of the Black Book, right? Like it was taken advantage of.
Right.
So people were really being tortured, and inevitably this led to MK Ultra, which most people know about MK Ultra now. Most people know, but but you can only know so much because a lot of the files were destroyed. We don't know how far they actually went with MK Ultra because they were basically ordered to destroy a lot of the evidence. And
That's true.
So how much did they actually know? There's a theory now that the psychedelic drugs, or not the psychedelics, but the SSRIs that are taken today are basically the next evolution, the synthetic version of MK Ultra. They wanted to develop, something that would dull the senses so they could use all of these projects that they've been studying for decades in how to program a person unwittingly in order to create atrocious acts so they can sway public opinion.
Do you guys know it? Do you guys know anybody that takes SSRIs?
Well, I used to. I was about to get into that, but I kind of wanted to back up before MK Ultra. So Operation White Coat. Do you guys know about that? Where they tested like all kinds of different medications and all that type of stuff on our military, and they voluntarily signed up for this. So it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you can go watch it. But it's kind of crazy. But SSRIs, when I got out of the military, so they like to give soldiers that have having post-traumatic stress or whatever. There are two types that they would give you: either dopamine inhibitors, which boost your mood, or the SSRIs that kind of dull you out. So I'm both of those are extremely dangerous because when I was on those, I'm telling you, I felt like a completely different person. I don't know. I feel like I became a monster. Like when I was taking that stuff, like I did not feel like myself and act or talk like myself. But now I'm off of that stuff, and I finally got it off, out of my system. And I just look back to, and this is probably like 8 to 10 years ago, and I'm telling you guys, like that stuff, it messes with your brain. And the only way to like really heal from something is actually like living through, not living through it, like cognitive brain therapy and things like that. But medications, these synthetic drugs, that is not the way to go at all.
Dude, when I was like coming off, if you guys, I've told the story a million times, the big mental breakdown, coming out of it, super acute, like anxiety, depression, it was gnarly. And they put me on a plethora of like medication, none of which I took for very long or take anymore. But I didn't take any SSRIs, and I didn't because I did a shit ton of research on my own and discovered cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and ended up doing that for like 6 or 8 months or something, and pretty much just like no medication, figured my shit out. But I have like a couple friends right now that are on SSRIs, and I can tell you like firsthand, and these people are not like, casual acquaintances, like really good friends of mine that I've known for 10, 15 years. And I don't think that you would ever see such a stark difference in the most noticeable difference. I don't know if I'd notice it if it was just like a coworker or like a regular sort of dude that works a 9 to 5 that has like a sort of regular life or whatever. But my friends are like hyper creative. And like I watched one of the most creative, charismatic people that I've ever met in my life go through like some sort of a psychosis. They put him on this SSRI, and he's been on it now for like 10 years or something. This guy still lives in his mom's basement. All of his art projects and stuff completely given up. He works in a fucking warehouse now. He was like a punk rock kid, crazy mohawks, ripped up shirts, like an artist, a professional wrestler, like a creative, like true to that word. And I hate that word, but he really was. And now he's like literally wears a suit and tie and goes and manages a warehouse 9 to 5. He hasn't drawn a picture, painted a painting, got in a wrestling ring. He hasn't done any of this shit in like 10, 15 years. And it literally started just evaporating and disappearing out of his life when he got on those pills. And it's like,
it zaps the life out of you, man.
Oh, he's told me before, like, I'm like, because, I mean, granted, he did go through a really, really gnarly thing, and there was like a bunch of self-harm and just
Right.
bad stuff that happened. He was in a bad way. I don't know if he'd be alive if he didn't get help. But he said to me like many times, like, I'm like, are you good now? Like, you know, I check in with him after this event occurred in his life. I'm like, are you good now? Like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, he's like, I kind of feel numb. Like, he's like, things happen in life that maybe used to make me like spiral. And he's like, now it's just kind of like, it happened. Shit happened, man. And it just is what it is. And I'm just like, I'm glad that it's not like making you like spiral down in some sort of psychotic episode, but at the same time, bro, it's like, it sounds like you're having trouble caring about anything.
Yes,
like,
it keeps you at like a 4. Like if you're on a scale of 10, and 10 is the extremely happy, and 0 is suicidal thoughts, it keeps you at like a 4. You're not happy, but you're not overwhelmingly sad. It numbs you to good or bad feelings. So you're just
blank
through life. You're just like a fucking empty vessel.
Dude, I was about to say meat suit. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's. So how do we? Where were we? Because we're going on.
Okay.
So SSRIs are potentially an evolution of mind control experiments, as I think where we're at.
Yes.
And just based on, maybe not evidence, but experiences that we've all had in our own lives, I'd be willing to co-sign that for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's intentional. It's big pharma, like all the money and
intentional.
Yeah, it's just wild. All these government organizations that kind of work in tandem with each other. So like that's really not a conspiracy, but it's like the food industry purposely trying to make you sick, fat, overweight, sloppy. That way, whenever you get older, you're okay. Now you're a customer of big pharma, and it's just a huge rotation. But I wouldn't say that's a conspiracy. I think that's just a fact.
That's just a fact.
It is. Well, okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I kind of cut you off a little bit there, but I wanted to say that this ties in to what came right after MK Ultra. Which, again, we have very limited documentation of this, and we actually weren't supposed to even find out about this. But it was Operation Often. If you guys, have you ever heard about this?
No.
So Operation Often was another Black Book secretive CIA operation, 1968. And it was done under the MK Ultra framework. But what our government was attempting to do was explore the paranormal, the occult, the unconventional psychological phenomena. They were seeking out Satanists. They were seeking out witches. They were trying to see if there was any legitimacy to summoning demonic entities.
Okay.
Now, out of the files that we have, it basically concludes that they found nothing. They didn't find any legitimacy to this. But we know that a lot of the MK Ultra files were destroyed, and we know that a lot of the Operation Often files were destroyed. It is my belief that they were able to come in contact with these demonic entities.
Okay. And
there was a subversion of our government around that time. It may have been earlier, but they were able to come in contact with these evil spirits. Because ever since the 60s, you can look at our culture and the way that the relationships between men and women, between marriage and our relationship with God in general, it has declined since then significantly. Our culture has become so separated from God in almost every way that you can look. I mean, you look at a substantial minority of churches now promoting LGBTQ, AI plus, all that. I mean, they literally have flags. They're justifying. They're twisting the words of the Bible in order to meet the goals of the LGBTQ AI plus community, right? So I think that these Black Book operations were actually able to come in contact with these entities, and they have been influencing or even running our government ever since. 1962,
Wow. Okay.
we removed prayer from schools, which it in a way it nullified the idea, or maybe made precedent the idea of separation of church and state. And this was a Supreme Court ruling, which basically they took an out of context letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote as president. He had written this letter, and at the end of it, he said the separation of church and state, which was the original intention was to protect churches from the influence of the federal government. And now it has been twisted to keep religion out of our government, to keep it out of the representation of the people. I mean, the government isn't supposed to be its own entity. It is supposed to be a representation of the people. The Constitution was written for a good and moral people and no other. And without the idea of God, without the idea that our rights stem from God and are inalienable and that we are created in his image, being separated from our representation in government for so long, we are now at the point where marriage, the definition of marriage was changed from one man and one woman in a covenant under God to two people in love. That's the new definition of marriage, okay? And since the 60s, they made marriage into a government contract as well. So instead of it being a relationship that you have that creates this foundation for the nuclear family, you are now separated in the idea of that, and it's now a tax benefit to the government. And so the government in a way becomes God in a certain aspect. And then eventually you see the breakdown, the breakdown of marriage, the nuclear family, which is the foundation of a successful society. The advent of the birth control pill, which separated women from their godly design in their role as a helper to man and a nurturer to their children. Now it has incentivized women to not only seek personal pleasure in sex and use men as masturbatory toys in a certain way, but it's incentivized them to, instead of seeking a husband and family, their incentives are now to seek independent financial wealth, which is it's just completely turned our society upside down. Humans have been around for, let's just say thousands of years. Okay, there's evidence of hundreds of thousands, but we'll just say thousands for now. Tens of thousands. Okay. Only for the last 60 years has there been this idea that of the birth control pill that separates the relationship between men and women, and how the procreation plays an integral role in our relationship. So out of the entire time we've been alive, this much, just a teensy bit, 50, 60 years since the birth control pill. And it seems to all revolve around this time where our government was literally seeking out demonic entities. And it just so happens, I mean, you guys have heard Paul Harvey's speech, right? In 1962. I'm going to pull this up.
Oh, yeah, I remember watching that on TV, yeah. In 1962 when I had a TV.
It might have been 1964, I can't remember.
And I was alive. I remember that like it was yesterday, boys. Hold on, before we get...
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the government and religion? Like, it sounds like you would rather there be some type of union there, correct?
So I would, yes.
Here's my thought. So I think personally, like Maurice is talking about, like marriage and the nuclear family, I think those are just after effects. Because what they're doing is they're trying to separate the individual from their own personal relationship with God. So you see this throughout the decades, right? Went after masculinity, femininity, they're after the kids now. So they're separating all of these people, their own personal relationships, and it's separating them from their foundation, right? And you see this a lot whenever men are not masculine enough, they're like beta boys, and they get with a female. Say it's a heterosexual relationship, and the female has to take over. They're further away from what their natural roots are. But at the end of the day, I think there are evil forces within the government that have been infiltrated in some way. I don't know if it's, like we might talk about, the original Doom, that game, and how it relates to.
I fucking love that game.
I know, me too. But we'll get that into a little bit later. But there are evil forces or evil spirits, or they're worshiping Satan or Moloch or any of these other entities, or maybe Cthulhu from the seventh dimension or something. Who knows? But there is some sort of infiltration. I think that's what we need to kind of dive into.
I think so too. There's two things that I thought along the way, and that was one, when you said that this project often they ultimately concluded that there was actually not really any way to like contact these entities or these spirits or these demonic forces or like whatever. First of all, on that, I just like call bullshit, because I mean, look, TV's TV, and TV shows are even the nonfiction TV shows are partly fictional. But we've all seen shows, we've all seen YouTube things, we've all met people that claim, or on the shows show people contacting, or they're in a fucking haunted house, or they're like doing a seance, or like whatever. And these like regular people, blue collar America, or just regular folks, they're contacting these entities. And I've seen some pretty convincing shit on these shows and in documentaries and stuff like that I would tend to lean towards, I believe this person. I think this person is legitimately contacting these forces or interacting with them in some sort of way. So if fucking, Cleo, the chick with the crystal ball and the fucking 7 candles can contact these fucking
read the tarot cards.
You know what I mean? If they can contact these entities, and the federal government with all the money and resources in the world is claiming, "Oh, we can't do it," I'm immediately like, "That's bullshit. I don't believe that at all." And then
I agree.
And then secondly, one other thing I wanted to say about the unionship between religion and government, I think that like to a certain degree, I'd rather those things be separate, because and not. I'm just talking about the concept of, and this is very surface level shit, but this is like everybody who is faithful in their life. It's a fucking journey, man. Sometimes you question your own faith. Sometimes you feel like you've been abandoned by God. Sometimes you feel like he's right there next to you and everything that's happening in your life is because of him. And sometimes you're resentful because bad things happen. And it's a journey, and it's always in flux. And some days your faith is rock solid like concrete, and some days it's a little shaky and you have questions and you're not sure really what the fuck's going on here. And when I was a kid, I went to church with my family. I didn't question anything. I had absolute pure faith as a child, because nothing had happened in my life that caused me to ask questions. And the internet didn't exist, so I couldn't jump on YouTube and immediately find 10 million people that are saying, this is bullshit, this is fake, you're out of your mind, I'm an atheist. You know what I mean? So I was totally pure and just unfucking molested by other people's ideas at that time. And then I remember when I was like, the first time I started questioning my faith or started questioning God was like when I was like 14 or 15 or 16 years old. And that's when I got the internet and started becoming hip to, hey, the government, the people that are governing us, they're fucking lying about everything. And I was just a kid. I was like 14 years old. I'm like, these motherfuckers are lying to us about everything. Like, I'd put on the TV and watch it, and I'd literally think to myself, this looks like a fucking soap opera for adults. This is bizarre that my folks are sitting here and watching this and taking this information in as if it's true. And I'm sitting here being like, this is bullshit. So as that progressed, I'm starting to realize I almost think the exact opposite and believe the exact opposite of everything that they fucking say to me. I feel like everything they say to me is lies. So when I start seeing in God pennies and on dollar bills, and I start presidents talk about being Christian, having faith, I immediately like there's a part of me in my soul that rejects it immediately because I'm like, you're a fucking liar. So like, I don't want to hear that shit come out of your mouth because I don't believe anything that you have to say. So when you start saying in God we trust and praise God and da 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 da, I'm immediately like, don't say it to me because I don't believe you. I don't believe nothing that you say. So that's just like it's a complex I have in my head where I'd rather them not talk about that because then it influences, because I don't believe anything that you guys have to say. So it starts to make me be like, fuck, I don't want to agree with you guys on anything. So don't talk about that shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like these people in Washington, D.C., it's like there's a cloud or a ruse that they're passing along all the time. Because who are the worst drug heads, alcoholics, running with prostitutes? It's Washington, D.C. And they say they're out there to benefit the people, but what are they actually doing? They're not helping anybody. They don't care about the people. All they care about is their wallets. And that's how it's been for so long with, the military-industrial complex and big pharma kickbacks and NGOs and lobbyists and all of this stuff. They're just out there to make money, and they don't care about us. So,
and that's kind of like where I've arrived at now. When I see "In God We Trust" on the penny, and I hear politicians talk about God and stuff, I'm like, oh, like when I read "In God We Trust," I'm talking about Jesus. I'm talking about God. When they say "In God We Trust," that God that they're referencing, it doesn't say Jesus. And there's all types of people that believe in all types of different gods. So that's just a generic term for whatever it is that they're worshiping. And whether that's the devil or Satan or a dark entity like that, or it's money. And those things are intricately connected in my mind. They're just using the word God as a placeholder and never really getting into the specifics of like what that is. And that's sort of like where I've arrived at now. But when I was a kid, like I said, when I was 14, that was like the first time where my faith was shook. When I realized these guys are lying and they're talking about God, I'm like, oh no. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're exactly right to believe that because you are looking at a compromised government that has been compromised for a long time and possibly systematically ran in a particular way to subvert the word and convince the people that God isn't what he actually is.
100%, bro.
It is. We've been, and this is maybe the entire point that I'm making is that the representation that we have, they can't just adopt Christianity right now and it'll fix everything. There's no way. We as a society have been disconnected from God for so long, and I don't know. Obviously I wasn't alive back then, but we've been so disconnected that we look out into the world and see these religious leaders nowadays, and it sure doesn't feel like they're actually religious. Mm-hmm. Like in 2020, my faith, I struggled greatly with my faith because I wasn't raised a Christian per se. I was raised in the idea of like a great spirit, right? Mm-hmm. And I leaned towards Christianity, but I met a lot of bad people who claim to be Christian. Like just mean, bad people. And so it pushed me away from Christianity. And when I was getting married and I wanted to turn my life around, I was leaning more towards Christianity again. And then the government lockdowns hit. And I saw, two parts to this. One, my wife and I were going, we were going to have our first child, our daughter, Riley Ann. And we ended up, she never made it to birth. We lost her in the third trimester, and it was during the government lockdowns as well. So not only were we struggling with the faith, but we had just lost our daughter, and I looked out for help, and I saw all of these churches voluntarily close down and just say that they would rather that they could just do it online, as if that was something that would help people. And I thought that you should be preaching the word of God for the sake of preaching the word of God, not because the government says you can. And it really shook my faith entirely. And so I had to develop my relationship with God and to overcome that. And so did my wife. You know, it was not an easy time, but we were able to pull through it. And so I get what you mean. And so it's not just the politicians that have been subverted, but it's the churches. It's the idea. It's how Christianity is presented to us these days. And it is this soft version of it. And we know deep down that it's not right. And so, like you said, Tom, you have to develop the relationship with Christ personally, which it feels like that's the only way. As of right now, I mean, I'm sure that there's some churches out there that are incredibly helpful, that actually preach the Word of God and stick to it, and they do it for the sake of preaching the Word of God, not because the government gives them tax benefits, right? But we're looking at a society that, like I said, with Operation Often, it was subverted a long time ago, and we as a people have been systematically separated, and our goals, our ideas have completely changed. The relationship between men and women have completely changed. I mean, you look out into the world today, I just saw a stat the other day that women in America ages 18 to 24, there's 1.48 million women in that age group on OnlyFans. As far as all the women in America ages 18 to 24, there's 10 million. So that means that almost 15% of women are between the ages of 18 and 24 are on OnlyFans right now.
Wow.
That's 15% of women that are basically off the market for proper marriage material, biblical marriage material, right? And not only that, they're influencing the other 85% that aren't on OnlyFans. There's a huge influence because these women get treated as I mean, they get financially reimbursed for that kind of depravity, and it's just, it sure feels like there's been a dark force working against humanity itself, and it's come to the final conclusion here of the transgender movement, which I believe is anti-God at its core.
A satanic ritual.
Yes, because I mean, in order to believe in transgenderism, you have to believe that God made a mistake and put you in the wrong body, and that mankind can fix it, be it through surgical intervention or hormonal intervention. It is anti-God at its core, and I guess we can get into the aliens now. But I believe that I know. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
That was the best segue ever. There's all these trans people out there, and So
let's talk about aliens. I used to bust Maurice's chops all the time because he's like, I guess we could transition to this, and I used to, but like, no, you cannot say that word. You say you have to segue or something else.
I have a point to tie it in.
I was so fucking locked in on like what you were saying, and then and then the aliens. But hell yeah, let's get into the aliens. Fuck it.
So I have a point to tie this in, because with our government actively seeking out these dark forces back in the day, okay, before I was born, there's been a systematic progression of separating men and women from each other, men and women from God, the idea of the nuclear family, the idea of marriage being a covenant between one man and one woman under God, and children sacrifices 70 million Americans have been aborted before they ever got the chance to articulate their own humanity. They were snuffed out in the womb. And now if they're able to make it past abortion, then they get sterilized through gender-affirming care in a strictly anti-God movement. So with how separated we are from God now, I believe that the aliens that are going to be visiting us in November, supposedly that Harvard study came out saying that there is an alien spaceship, potentially hostile, coming down to visit us here in November. that these are the same demonic forces that have been systematically destroying the nuclear family and the relationship between us and God for the last 60 years. I mean, I believe that these forces have been here for longer, but it's been an overt attempt to separate us from God. So that way, once they arrive here, they can become our new God, which it'll just be Satanism. And I mean, you can see, Tom, in the music industry, right? Mm-hmm. With the entertainment sphere that you've separated yourself from in a particular way. There has been not only the separation from God, but the promotion of Satanism, or the promotion of the idea that the devil is fun or good. I mean, you look at, what is that guy's name? Sam Cedar? Or no, not Sam Cedar. Sam, I can't remember his name. Maybe his name is Sam. Sam Smith. Does that work?
Oh, I know.
Sam Smith, right? Started off, and I mean, his latest performances have just strictly been devil worship.
Sam Smith. Yeah. Okay, got it.
So, I mean, Tom, what have you experienced in the entertainment industry? I know that you put out a song years ago, and I absolutely love this song, which is the Satanic Rappers. What inspired you back then to write that song? Because I feel like you were onto something that led you here today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Man, I mean, fuck. Everything led me to that. Like, everything. Since I started, like I said, I had this sort of like paradigm shift when I was like 13 or 14 years old, where like I started being very like skeptical, like almost paranoid about like everything. And like one of those things that I became like skeptical and paranoid about was like the music industry. And fuck, man, for a while, like I didn't really know like how serious it was at first. Like I thought it was just like, you know, you see like the hand signs and all this wild shit and like music videos and stuff all the time. And I was just like, I was really intrigued by it at first. I was like, oh, that's cool that there's like some sort of secret like society within music and they're clearly running shit. And like, you know, I didn't really like, I was intrigued. I was interested. And like the further and further I looked into it, the more and more I found out. And then I found out it wasn't just hand signs and music videos. It was like, I remember there was like a Rihanna video. She's like painted silver in the video. And at one point she like puts her head down and like lifts her arms up backwards. And like, you can like, there's a freeze frame of it. And you can literally see like clear as day, like a Baphomet like head, like designed into the shadows and shit on her back. And like, for something that precise to occur, I was like, oh fuck, that's not just like by chance. That's a CGI after work. And it's like beyond the symbolism, there's subliminal messaging, there's all types of wild shit. I mean, this shit has been like, people have been talking about it since the 60s or 70s, playing records backwards.
Correct.
And you know, implanting these like subliminal messages in songs on vinyl that if you play backwards, you can hear sort of like a dark or satanic message behind the music. And you know, it sounds like, I think that's been mocked and sort of made fun of for like so long that people don't take it seriously, but I take it seriously. I think that's for real. And man, I've seen things and pressed people. I had friends early in my career that were in the music industry, and I would press them about shit and ask them like, have you ever seen anything? Like, have you seen this? What do you think of? I feel like the award shows are modeled after satanic rituals, and at the very least, Masonic rituals. Like all the award shows, the Grammys, the fucking Oscars, from the set deck, the giant triangles and shit in the set deck, to the pillars in the background, to the way that they present awards, to like everything. I feel like it's all been modeled after occult stuff. And I've pressed people like a few. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say like some things are, they really don't. Like they'll just kind of try to hide it, but people can pick up on it. And then you have overt things like the Travis Scott concert in Houston, where people are saying this was a satanic ritual and people got stampeded and died from it. So I'm just saying, like I completely agree with you. Like in the music industry, I think one of your songs, "Clone Rappers," I believe it kind of goes into that too, where they're just giving all these like messages.
Are we back? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. We can hear you now. Can you hear us?
I think he froze again. Oh, is he here? Is he back? Can you hear me now?
I think maybe his phone might be overheating if he hasn't plugged into the charger and it's running the camera and everything. So it's possible it can be overheating.
Yeah. Yeah, we see him. We just Jaron says CIA has joined the chat.
Well,
okay.
Oh.
All right. Blah 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 blah. I'm trying to get back to the. Give me 1 sec, guys. I can hear you now. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Yeah. So I don't know. I've pressed guys on this shit before. Mm-hmm. I've never got anything like super conclusive out of anyone. It's like maybe they legitimately didn't know or they weren't in on it, or maybe they knew and that's the type of vow to secrecy they have, where it doesn't matter who you are, how good of friends you are with them, they're just not going to fucking tell you. Like, I don't know. But I've seen enough shit with my own eyes to, at this point, is just like, I think all of entertainment is like on some weird, evil, satanic shit. All of it, not just music, film, fucking everything. I think these guys are all in on some shit.
Do you know what Lucifer was before he was basically kicked out of heaven?
Yeah, he was a fucking musician.
Yeah, he was he like led the angel orchestra, and so it doesn't seem like it's too far-fetched to believe that the entertainment industry, through vibrations and just sound and what you see through that, these would be used as probably the best way to convey these messages without
100%, bro.
Alerting the public.
100%. It's the best way to reach the youth of America. The youth of America is not going to sit on a fucking couch at 6 p.m. and watch the news and take in the information that way. That's not what they do. They put their fucking headphones in and they go live their life. So if they're not going to reach them through the news, which is one of the vehicles that they use to communicate these messages to people, they have to find a way to get to the kids earlier in life. So they do it in music, in movies. Dude, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like a few years ago, there was a child's toy that came out that had a voice box in it. And there was like 10,000 of these or something that were distributed to dollar stores across America. And if you kept mashing the speak button, you'd eventually get to lines of dialogue that were promoting Satan and promoting this stuff. So they're just finding ways that they can reach different generations and different ages of kids. And music is probably 14 to 30-year-olds is probably the best way is to go through the fucking music. And like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this conversation we're having right now, there used to be tens of thousands of conversations like this being had on YouTube in documentary format and stuff, just like as recently as like 7 or 8 years ago. And now if you go search for them, they're fucking gone. And I remember one of these videos that I watched was a supposed music industry insider. I've tried to find this video 1,000 times since I first watched it. It just seems to be gone. But there was this guy who said that he worked for, I think it was Universal, and he was talking about like the biggest artists, Lady Gaga, the Britney Spearses, like these massive mainstream artists. He was saying that like when these albums get mixed and mastered, they go into like a dark room. After it's done, this album is complete. They take the very first mixed and mastered copy and they place it in a soundproof, blacked out room, and they close the door and no light enters that room for 7 days. And it's like some sort of satanic ritual. And they like bless this album with like black magic before it releases to the public.
Wow.
And I don't know, for some reason, I just got goosebumps just talking about it. For some reason, it always just stuck with me where I was like, that sounds fucking legit. And then I started Googling satanic ritual, darkness for 7 days, da-da-da-da-da. And it's all over Google. So, like, to me, that just like, you know, this guy could have just been talking shit. He could have been full of it. Who fucking knows? But the ritual was real. I Googled it and I fucking saw it. So it lent legitimacy to me to that story, and I was just like, I wouldn't be fucking surprised at all. I look at Lady Gaga's shit. How many times does she cover one eye? How many weird?
Yeah.
How many times have you seen Lady Gaga fucking covered in blood or like doing some other weird, bizarre shit in a music video?
Wearing a steak dress. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I get it. Some of it is like artistic expression and stuff, but there is a fucking line for me where it's like, is this artistic expression or is this reenactment of some ancient occult shit? Because you can reference the two. Look up ancient occult rituals and then watch a fucking music video.
Yeah.
You will find so many striking similarities between the two. Like, it's bizarre.
Yeah. So I want to play this message. This is from Paul Harvey. I brought it up earlier. It's If I Were the Devil by Paul Harvey from 1965.
If I were the devil. If I were the devil. If I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. And I'd have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. Thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure.
Oh.
Dang.
I don't know what happened there, but that sure seems like everything that has taken place over the last 60 years, that is spot on to what we experienced.
Like it's so fucking strikingly accurate that like
it's
20 seconds,
wild.
20 seconds into that, I was questioning, like, is this fucking AI that somebody made last week? Like, it's that on point. It's almost like a fucking
visionary.
prophecy. It's like a prophecy.
Yeah.
Like that's it. We're living everything that he talked about literally right now.
That's crazy.
So we're fucked. What do we do now?
Exactly.
Okay, I got.
What we can do, so we can go get the aliens, which are actually demons. If you watch the movie Doom, or if you ever play the game, there is a portal in Nevada that can wormhole you to Mars.
Hold on, I'm going to turn on a light out here, and I don't want to miss this because I'm into this. So just give me 1 second.
You guys, thank you for. We're still going strong. If you guys can, please share out this stream. We have 10,000 people here right now. Let's get this out to everybody that we can. While Tom is turning on the light, just go ahead, click the share button, share it on your socials, on the Facebooks, on the X, on the Rumble. I don't know if you can share stuff on Rumble, but off of Rumble, we're streaming off of that. So please share it to all your socials and let everybody know. I'm trying to
keep up with the chat tonight, man. Oh, crazy! You guys are blowing it up right now. I appreciate all of you. It's just been wild, and I'm gonna talk about Doom. That was one of my favorite games growing up, dude. Like one of the first the original Call of Duty, right? But it was just a first-person shooter, and man, like whenever they made the movie about it, I was just so pumped because I'm just a nerd, just an old school nerd.
So I played Doom growing up, but I don't remember ever. I don't remember the story, so I must have missed it, but it sure does seem like it wasn't just invented out of thin air. You know, I mean, there's some ideas that there's a theory floated around that our ideas aren't actually ours, and that we just kind of can connect to whatever other dimension or whatever space there is, and like ideas visit us, right? And so when something is created like Doom that has these ideas, it's not so much like a prediction of the future or just some fantasy out of the blue that somebody created. It was actually like a message being told, and then it's being portrayed in movies or games or things of that nature. So, but I mean, there's a famous line from Michael Jackson saying that when he wrote the song Thriller, he had called his producer at like 3 a.m. and he said, we got to go to the studio right now and produce this. And the guy was like, okay, what, like right now, really? Do we have to do it right now? And he said, no, if I wait until morning, then Prince will have already written it. And so I mean, it's just an idea. I don't know if it's completely true, but I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot of very, very successful people that believe in things of this nature. So, it's not always that these ideas just come out of nowhere. So explain to me what Doom is there, Steve.
Oh, okay. Well, some, artists in the 70s would do LSD or smoke pot, and they would create these masterpieces. But anyways, so Doom, essentially, so the first person shooter that came out was Wolfenstein, where you were in Nazi Germany and you would go and shoot the Nazis, overseas or whatever. But then the mainstream, game was called Doom, and you play as a character called Doomslayer, and you're a Marine. And essentially what it is there's a laboratory that's on Mars, and they uncover some sort of wormhole type portal, and demons start coming out and they take over the facility. So you are a Doomslayer, you go to Mars and you start attacking these demonic forces, right? And then the story goes on and you finish the game or whatever. And then the second one is called Hell on Earth, where they actually make it to Earth and you're fighting evil on Earth. Like 70 or 80% of the population is taken over by demonic forces and all that. They continue on like 3, 4, and 5, and I just kind of get lost in the storyline. But the movie, there's a wormhole that they discover in Nevada, and it takes it's like this portal that they stand on, and it takes them immediately to Mars. So the premise is, at the end of Doom 1, the lady that survives, that's the second one, never mind. But the demonic forces eventually make it to planet Earth in the second one. So I don't know, like, so there are a lot of theories
So
with
you
like
keep
predictive
saying
programming.
So a lot of this was like, I thought Doom was supposed to be aliens.
No, it's all demons and shit.
They're demons, but they're
but they come from space.
So technically they're aliens, but they're demons.
Have you played the fucking new Doom?
No, I haven't.
It's fucking sick, first of all, but but it's like, you
got PlayStation Network, Tom?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to get your gamer tag. We're gonna play sometime. We'll live stream it.
Yeah, it's like so. I mean, it's the same concept. There's these demons that come from space, and they're fucking trying to overrule the world and whatever.
Right.
But it's like almost uncomfortable to play, because it's so demonic and so dark that it's almost like, and you're like, you're the good guy, you're killing the demons and shit, but it is so, like, the graphics and shit have gotten so good now that it's like, and it's so over the top, like violent and gory, that it's like almost uncomfortable to play. Like, the storyline is so dark and so like satanic, and it's just like,
right.
Like, I don't know. I think when I'm playing it, like, I'm not one of the, like, they're always trying to play, like, or blame video games for, like, fucking everything, like, for violence and robberies and whatever, Grand Theft Auto and, like, whatever. And I'm, like, not one of those guys. I'm just like, if you have half a fucking brain, you can differentiate, like, reality from playing a fucking video game. And if you can't, then chances are you were gonna fuck up in some other area of life and go to prison anyway. So it just kind of is what it is. But it's just like, I don't know, man. You play it and it's like so much fun, and there's this really dark satanic narrative to the thing that it's like, I almost like kind of worry about like kids playing it, because like the devil looks really fucking cool and the demons look really fucking cool, and they're like super fucking powerful, and they're like really badass, and you're like watching it and it's like almost like uncomfortable to watch, because you're like, ugh, like it's almost making like the bad guys look like too good. Because like after I played it, I was like, oh man, like I want to get a Doom t-shirt, like, but I want to get like a 90s. I want to get a 90s. Like, I used to play Doom on like on a floppy disk in my dad's computer in his office, and after playing it, I was like, oh man, I want to get one of those classic Doom shirts that just says Doom on it or whatever. And then and then I started looking for Doom shirts, and like there's fucking pentagrams on everything, and like weird symbols and shit on everything, and I get it, it's relevant to the game, but like to some kid who like doesn't know the difference, he's running around wearing a fucking pentagram shirt. It's like, ugh, like, I know that you're supporting the game and not like
the demonic forces.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, that line is very difficult to, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, fuck.
Well,
yeah.
I think that again, I think it was all intentional. I truly believe that this was all intentional to separate us from what we were supposed to do from. You know what? There was actually in the late 1800s, one of the popes. I may actually have to look this up, just because I'm going to butcher this. But basically, one of the popes had a vision, like in the middle of his sermon. He was, out there, and then he just like froze for 10 minutes and had this vision, and it was basically a conversation between Jesus and the devil, and it was the devil explaining that he was going to take over the world. And in a lot of ways, it sure seems like that has happened. And when you ironically support the devil. And I actually had a conversation with one of my family members about this because they had shared a video of one of the raves that they had went to, and on the screen there with everybody dancing in front of it was like it was a giant screen of the devil, like just partying with all the ravers, and that freaked me out. I was like, there is no way I would ever be there. And it's not, because to me that's not funny. Like when you just imitate these demonic things, and you don't see them as serious in any way, like eventually you're not pretending anymore, right? When all these things, when you're ironically a Satanist and you're ironically just dancing at the feet of the devil in celebration while you're out there, doing drugs and partying and doing, like, not actually contributing anything to society apart from indulging all of your impulsive pleasures, all of the impulsive pleasures that you know for a fact aren't good for you, and don't do anything past that night, right? Eventually it becomes part of your personality. And it sure does feel like all of this lining up when you look back and I've gone so far as to the 60s, right? With the Operation Often, and how I believe that our government was legitimately taken over, and how separated we are from God now. It sure feels like with what doom is, and how the demonic forces are presented as aliens. If we are to see aliens in our lifetime, I believe that they would be demons, and I believe that they would want to come to Earth in order to present themselves as aliens or as gods, right? So that way we would forget about Jesus Christ, and there would be an antichrist of some sort presented as an alien, but it would really just be demonic forces. It'd be Lucifer, or it would be the Antichrist himself, taking over the world in a way. And we, like, when you think about the Antichrist and you wonder, like, well, how could so many people fall for something like that, right? How could so many people fall, like, support and cheer the Antichrist? And it could be something like an alien coming down to Earth, presenting itself as a god with all this technology and coexisting with the AI, the singularity AI that just comes out at the same time. I mean, who knows?
Well,
that's
then
what Steve was talking about at the very beginning of this shit. That's the whole alien invasion, blah blah blah. Like that's like Project Bluebeam. Like that's like what that is. Is like they said that there's going to be, like, bro. There's so many different avenues that we could go down, but look, I think Elon Musk is a swell dude. I've never fucking trusted him off rip. Like, the second he started talking about fucking microchips and brains and shit, I was like, nah, fuck all that. And like, when I was a kid, that's when I was 14, 15 years old, that's when I first discovered Project Bluebeam. And the whole thing back then was like, they were talking about putting fucking 100 and something satellites in space, and they were going to be on this grid, and then they were going to simultaneously project an entity on all continents of the world, and it was going to be the same entity, and it was going to be this one god to rule all, and like one world currency and one world government and one world religion, one world everything. And I mean, I don't know. I'm on fucking Starlink right now. That motherfucker's putting satellites in space every goddamn day. I see them flying through the fucking air. Yeah. So like the aliens coming to space shit, and this is like coming to Earth from space. This is my personal whatever spin on everything, is that like I wouldn't be totally convinced if aliens arrived here they would be satanic. I'm not totally convinced of that. I think in the narrative that's being told right now with, hey guys, there's this thing that's coming here and it's in space and it's going to be here by November, that would be some sort of satanic presence. But I think if it just occurred and it was real and it wasn't a Project Bluebeam and to me, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck aliens are. Are these physical beings that are traveling a physical space-time distance? Are they coming here from an actual place and traveling here? Or are these like interdimensional, you know what I mean? And if they are interdimensional, why the fuck are they flying a spaceship across space to come here anyway? Wouldn't they just be able to tune into the frequency and fucking appear here? Like traveling and time and distance and that shit like that shouldn't even exist to them. So I don't know. I think in the way that it's being presented to us right now, when they start saying like, "Hey guys, there's something coming here," that's what makes me be like, "Ooh, that's the bad kind of aliens." But
yeah,
anything that's fucking flanked by like the government, I'm like, nah, that's evil.
I would agree with you there. It's just, man, I just don't know, like, because we've been given so much prediction.
That's a real like, what do you guys feel like aliens are? Are they biological beings that are traveling a distance to physically come here, or is it Project Bluebeam, or is it an interdimensional species of some sort? Are there even other dimensions? Like, you know what I mean? These are the questions I'm sitting around thinking about when I'm watching this shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
But I mean, I watch Ancient Aliens a lot, right? And they talk about the pyramid. No, I'm serious, because like a lot of this stuff, like it drives my thought process, because they have the pyramids all around the earth, you know, that was apparently some sort of power source. And, you know, all of these, I guess these civilizations don't exist anymore. So where did they go? Like, were they wiped off the face of the earth from these alien sources or whatever? I just don't know. But if there's any kind of governmental involvement, I do agree with that. It's kind of setting up for something. Now, aliens, what do I think? I don't know, because like you see like Independence Day and Men in Black and all these movies that show what they think aliens look like. No, I don't think they're little green men or little gray men, you know, with the googly eyes and all that. No, I don't think so. But I will say I do think there are aliens. I don't know technologically how they are, because there are enough stars in our universe, or excuse me, there are as many stars as in the universe as the Earth has grains of sand. So to believe there's no other intelligent being out there, I don't believe it. I think there is something out there, but are they coming this way? I don't know. I guess we'll find out in a few months, right?
And
I'll take a slightly different twist on this, because I don't believe that they would come from outer space. It sure seems like they are just the current form or representation of, if you look at any ancient civilization and their depictions of demons, or these depictions of these entities coming down to us, I don't think that they're from outer space. I don't think that they live on other planets and are traveling to us in that way. I think that they're here, and it sure seems like they're pulling strings behind the scenes, and they present themselves in different ways. It's disappeared. Hey, Eddie, I had the quote, but it was basically, you never know how many. It was from Hebrews. I can't remember which verse it is, but you never know if you're speaking to an angel, because there's a lot of angels here, right? Now, angels, they're fallen angels in our civilization. They've been here for a very long time. They're willing to subvert the will of the current people. Here it is: be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. So the most interesting part about this is that it's like, when you think we've been taught that angels are good, right? That angels, like what was that movie in the 90s? Angels in the Outfield, right? Like the angels are coming down and Yeah. And they're helping people win baseball games, but angels are not just good, right? They're fallen angels. Right. They will do evil things, and so I just believe that aliens are those angels, and especially with how we've been separated consciously from God and from relationships with our fellow, marriage between man and a woman, it sure seems like they're just going to present themselves now as aliens, and that's just a different form. You can call them lizard people, I don't care. Shapeshifters, entities, spirits embodying, whether it be AI itself or these aliens that are supposedly visiting us. It sure seems like that they will just be demonic entities that have been here for a very long time, and they've figured out how to present themselves to us in an acceptable way.
Yeah, they're reintroducing themselves. Yeah, I get it.
Yes,
I'm open to that. I fuck with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I could see that for sure. There's definitely a part of me as like a kid who like grew up as like a fan of like Star Trek and a fan of Star Wars and a fan of my favorite movie is Interstellar. That's my favorite movie, like by far, with Matthew McConaughey. I think it's the greatest film ever. I love it.
That's my wife's as well.
Yeah. Like I'm just like a space guy, so there's like a big part of me that feels like an aversion to like all aliens being evil, because I want to believe that there's good that exists outside of Earth. You know what I mean? Like I want to believe that. So there's definitely part of me that might be like a little bias towards that, because I mean, fuck, man. Like every time I drive to Nevada, it takes every fiber in my body not to go to Chelsea and drive up to the black mailbox at Area 51 and take a fucking photo. Like I love I love space shit. So but I think the greatest evils, and not to completely discredit the alien thing, like so, and just to say, like, side note, I think that aliens are probably like interdimensional. Like they don't exist in like a physical form. Okay. There's at least one type. There's a yes. Okay. There's at least one type of alien that doesn't exist in a physical form, that can sort of appear and disappear from our physical world, that our senses can interpret. They can, exist or not exist. That's why when they start saying things like, hey, this fucking spaceship might be flying here and it's going to get here in November, I'm immediately like very skeptical of that, because I'm like, that sounds like some sort of government propaganda explanation for something that they're not telling the truth, because I don't think they'd have to physically fly here in a fucking UFO. And I think they have been here already. So the fact that they're just showing up for the first time, to me, is like, yeah, my ass. Sus. But anyways, yeah. So like, it's super sus. But as far as evil in space, I think like the greatest fucking evils are here on Earth. And like, I was just thinking when you guys were talking.
Who's the king of the world?
What do you mean, who's the king of the world? Well, sure.
It's
Lucifer. I thought you were talking about like physical. I thought you were talking about physical man, which is kind of like where I was going with this. Was like, when I first got into. I keep referencing this period in my life when I was like 14, when I sort of like had my eyes opened to a lot of the truths about the world and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but this is really fucking crazy. Like there was a big movement for a while that was saying that Obama was like the Antichrist, because there's a lot of things about the Antichrist that say he's going to be like this charismatic leader that like, and he's going to be the first of his kind, and he's going to charade as somebody that can like unify people, but like in reality, he's here to do the opposite. And like one of these videos, I'm sure you might be able to find this on YouTube still. One of the videos that I saw, and we're talking about a satanic narrative sort of infiltrating our government and our world and stuff like that. One of the first things I saw was like these Obama speeches that somebody had taken, and his catchphrase, "Yes, we can." was like on all his fucking t-shirts. It was on posters. It was on billboards. It was fucking repeated by his followers. It was echoed by people on the news every day. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And there was this fucking kid on YouTube who said, and this goes back to playing records backwards. He said, look at this. This is an Obama speech. Obama's standing in front of this big group of people at the White House, and he says, yes, we can. And all of these people repeat it back to him. Yes, we can. This kid takes this audio file, drops it into his fucking computer, reverses it to play it backwards. And yes, we can backwards. It's uncanny. It says, Hail Satan. So I was like,
yikes.
Yeah, hold up. I was like, that's bullshit. I was like, that's bullshit. Ain't no way that's
right.
real. So I fucking went on my microphone and recorded, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And then I flipped the audio file, and sure as shit, dude, it's there.
No.
Yeah, dude. You guys got microphones. You guys got recording software. Do it. I'm telling you. That is a fucking fact. So this guy's standing up there on this podium saying this fucking catchphrase, and he's got 100,000 people on the White House lawn repeating it back to him. He's got people saying it all over the fucking news every day. He's got people walking around with it on their fucking t-shirts. I don't even like saying the phrase right now. I don't even feel comfortable telling you guys to do it. Because that's like that's like, you know, if you watch ghost shows, if you watch paranormal shit, which I do, I'm into it. You know that like a lot of these people that communicate with entities or spirits or whatever, they speak in tongues. And a lot of times when they speak in tongues, they're just speaking English backwards. That is how they communicate. So if you get all of these people, a massive, massive amount of people around the country, all repeating this fucking phrase together, backwards, it's Hail Satan.
So if I want to go do some ghost hunting and I want to capture actual footage of a ghost or a spirit or entity, all I have to do is say, yes, you can.
Get on fucking Amazon, get yourself an Obama shirt and fucking get out there, buddy.
Ooh, I'm about to break the tinfoil hat again. That's what I'm
like, I don't know.
about.
It sounds crazy, and I remember saying it to my dad because I would peddle my conspiracy theories to my father when I was a kid. I'd be like, I found out that fucking, you know, there's reptilian space fucking demons that are running in the White House, and fucking the Earth's flat, Dad, and fucking Obama's telling
the moon is hollow.
Yeah, I'm
it's
into
a hollow
that too.
Spaceship.
That motherfucker rings like a bell. I'd tell him like, yo, Obama's on some like weird fucking worshiping the devil shit. And my dad was always kind of like, you know, I'm a 15, 16-year-old kid, you know, and he's
yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Here it is.
Oh.
Thank you, Satan.
Thank you, Satan.
Thank you, Satan.
All right, that's enough of that. I don't want to keep playing that. It doesn't.
Sorry, I misquoted it. It wasn't hail. It was thank you. I mean, but does that change it? Like, that's enough for me. And then I went and tried it, and I was like, oh, that's legit.
Yikes,
you think
that?
How do you guys feel about that? Honestly, do you think that's legit? Do you think there's something to that, or do you think it's just by chance?
Man, I don't know what to believe anymore. That's the thing. Like, we're never told the truth, so we have to discover it years later, like MK Ultra and all these operations are these black book things that the government has done to the people. So it's like, is it far-fetched? Not really.
That's what I'm saying. And like,
well, yeah. Think about this. If you look at what fruits are being produced by our society, even if you compare it to, you know, history where, you know, we're told to hate the founding of this nation because Native Americans were genocided and it was created by white people for white people who colonizers and blah, 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 whatever it is, right? When you look at what's happening in today's society, not by intentions, not by virtue signaling, not by saying I want to save the climate, I want to do this. The sheer number of slaves around the world, like we as Westerners, we brag, we say that, we ended slavery. And it's like, nah, we outsourced slavery. We didn't end it. We outsourced it to countries that allow it, right? But we allow it because we literally pay their slave masters. So we didn't end slavery. We just outsourced it. There's more slaves today than there ever was in known human history. There's been more human sacrifices today than ever was. If you look at the Aztecs, where they sacrificed like 80,000 people in one day, to their sun god, we look back at that in horror, but then we don't realize that the amount of, there's 3,000 abortions done daily, where there's no difference, right? Like the beginning of this country is that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. If we are indeed endowed by our Creator with these rights, then it would only make sense that our Creator endowed us with those rights at creation, which is during the zinc spark during fertilization. Okay? That is the only logical conclusion that you could come to that would be consistent in every aspect to begin recognition of rights for a human being. It's where, we don't have to go down that whole thing. But if you believe in anything resembling a soul, if you believe in that humans have rights, then it begins at creation. And through abortion, 3,000 abortions a day. And over the last 60 years, you have to think that there's at least 100 million Americans that aren't here right now with what they would have procreated at the time. So it's like a minimum of 100 million Americans are completely missing from the planet. And then you look at the sterilization of people today, or of kids through gender affirming care, and the indoctrination that it's not good to have kids, or that you wouldn't want to bring kids into this world right now, not with climate change and all the hostilities. If you look at the fruits of what we've produced, it sure seems like we're not any better than what we were before. If we just examine us by what we've actually produced instead of what intentions we have or what kind of moral virtues we believe that we have, just purely on the fruits produced. If that makes sense.
100%. I also feel like I think for like a lot of people, when you start talking about like human sacrifice and or animal sacrifice or whatever, but especially human sacrifice, obviously. I mean, this shit goes back forever. People have been doing this shit for since the beginning of time.
Correct.
And I think that like there's definitely like a connection to like the abortion thing, but I think for like a lot of just like regular like everyday folks, I think that's a little abstract for them. I think that they have, because the way that it's been presented through, like pro-abortion, pro-choice, like the way that it's been presented to us, I think and it's been presented to us in a positive light for like so long that I think a lot of people like, they find sense in it. Like, oh, they didn't want to bring their child into a home that was broken, that had low income, that like whatever. People will always justify. They will find a way to make it make sense for them. But I mean, there's so many things that we didn't talk about. Like look at Bohemian Grove, bro. Bohemian Grove. That was exposed in 2014. Yeah. And I think it was either Alex Jones or somebody from Alex Jones's team that broke in and took that footage. I remember seeing footage of Alex Jones rolling up to Dick Cheney on the street and saying, "My name is Alex Jones. I'm the one that broke into Bohemian Grove in 2014 and filmed you guys." And Dick Cheney said, "I disrespect." He said, "I disrespect you for that." And then he turned around and walked away. He didn't deny it. He didn't try to cover anything up. All he said was, "I disrespect you for that." And then he turned around and walked away. So if the abortion thing doesn't connect with somebody in 2025 in the modern world, if that doesn't make total sense to them, all you have to do is go back 10 years or 11 years to 2014 when there was powerful politicians, presidents, bank heads, corporation owners, all of these guys dressed in black robes around the feet of a giant wooden owl, doing a mock human sacrifice, burning a human effigy. Like, exactly.
We don't know it's mock. They said it's mock.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying is like, if it's too far of a stretch for the regular person to be like, oh, every abortion is some sort of, all you have to do is look back 11 years. These guys are still doing this shit. They're out in the fucking redwood forest in California. Every fucking year they do this shit. And that's for real. It's been exposed, and Dick Cheney's been called on it on camera, and he didn't deny it. So I think it's easier to connect ancient occult stuff with a modern event such as Bohemian Grove. Then it's a shorter distance to connect that to abortion for just regular people that may not be hip to it or whatever. I think that's a very important piece of context that exists in between an ancient human sacrifice and modern day abortion. Maybe I'm not explaining myself well, but
it's all the symbolism behind it.
Well, it's not just the symbolism, though. It's the fact that people, since people don't really believe in a lot of that occult stuff anymore, like we're kind of taught, or maybe we're just desensitized as a civilization. We're desensitized to a lot of these things, and it seems kind of like a joke that all the very elite and powerful people go and do this every year, but there's a reason for it. But we're just desensitized to the idea that something like that is real. So that it does make sense, because in all reality, if we were to take some of these things more seriously, in the idea that these occult practices that have been done by all the elites for all of history, at least that we know of, like they've been in power for a long time. I mean, there was that girl that proved, or that kid that proved that like almost every single president was related. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which is mind blowing. If you think
about
it,
like
you're like
2 or
okay.
3 degrees of separation between every single president ever. Yeah, it was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not that far off. So it sure
Yeah.
seems like these occult practices and these people that they put in front of us, there's not much of a connection there. We have the idea of like the American that anybody can be president, but when you see that every one of them, that they're all related, you start to question some things like, hold up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's like,
yeah. And I don't know, like you said, like if we would only take it more seriously, I think it's very difficult for people to take it seriously because
especially now.
Yeah, and I mean that
were
video was
criticizing you. Oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, "Hey, I don't run around in the woods naked." What did that mean?
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But it's a lot of big public officials going in there. Don't we deserve to know?
I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials.
I'm sorry. You took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them up after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just walked in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual gentlemanly?
is, guys.
Sir, everything I don't owe you this comment.
I know, I appreciate
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you
ever
and goodbye.
been in the ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Oh.
That's right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest of us to say, "Oh well, you're
there, Mr. Gergen."
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously,
you
don't belong there.
Yeah,
Leaving
nobody
spotters
sets
coming out
policy
here?
in there.
Yeah.
They just swear themselves to secrecy in their little club. But yeah, no policies are set.
I also have to point out that's not Dick Cheney. That's Dick somebody else. I don't know what his last name is. But he looked official enough to me. I see fucking American flags in the background. He's wearing a fucking suit. It looks like he's going into a government building. Like that. But I misspoke when I said Dick Cheney. But yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's difficult for people to take that type of shit seriously, though, because even with the footage and even with this interview that was sort of conducted out up there on the street, it's like the first thing that people do when they get a piece of information that they're skeptical about or that is contrary to their understanding of the world, the first thing that they try to do with that information is validate it and verify it and fact check it and get a cosign on it. And there's nobody in their right mind that's ever been to that place or that has any actual experience with the people. That there's nobody that's going to verify it. There's nobody that's going to validate it. There's nobody that's going to comment on it. That, what you just saw right there, is probably the only piece of footage that will ever exist of any. And that guy was probably in deep shit after answering those questions. They probably told him, you should have fucking walked away. What the fuck were you thinking standing there talking about this?
Stay silent.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for people to take it any more seriously because there's like, we live in the age of misinformation. I mean, I somebody sent me a video the other day of this, what looked like a Google map, and then it zoomed in all the way from space, all the way into the world onto the top of a mountain. And there was a fucking cat standing there smoking a cigarette, giving me the middle finger. And this shit looks real as fuck. Like it's AI generated. It's almost indistinguishable from reality. So it's difficult for people to take anything seriously anymore because we just literally don't know.
And
hey,
they take
you guys, I do want to say really quick to the audience here, if you have any questions, get them in now because we're not going to be going too much longer. So if you have any questions in the chat for Tom MacDonald specifically or either of us, please just put them in the chat and I'll read through it and make sure to, or at least try to answer them. So,
and like, fuck, I could talk about this shit all day. Like, we also like didn't talk about CERN, bro. Like CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, whatever the fuck it is. Like, I've many pieces on that. I'm not convinced that that's not a fucking portal for the entities that we were talking about earlier.
Bring up a good point there. And then like I think like COVID was almost like the final straw with like people using discernment, because the whole conspiracy theorist and the misinformation, like if you went anything against the narrative, you were a conspiracy theorist, or that's when they started creating all these fact checkers. Remember when they started that, like Facebook, I believe, and that wouldn't need to exist if they just told us the truth, but they're never going to. So I think, in my opinion, like now that AI is starting to become like very, very realistic, people's discernment's already out the window. So once they start putting out these AI videos of these politicians doing some really crazy stuff, I don't think people are going to be able to pick apart this stuff in the future. It's going to be bad.
Dude, I'm not concerned. I'm not convinced that we all haven't been fooled by that shit already. Like, I mean, look, dude, like
most of history is written by AI. It's been around for a long time. AI is just the next iteration of Lucifer, right? As if our society actually built all of these buildings that we see, all around the state capitals, the bank buildings. Why don't we build anything like this at all anymore? We don't ever build this anymore. And it is so frustrating to me because if we are to believe that our society built this, then we were inspired by God. Like if we actually did this, okay, if we actually were able to build all of these buildings in the late 1800s, early 1900s, all across the country, then they were inspired by something that we have completely lost. Because I live in a double-wide manufactured home, okay? All right? This thing is a pile of junk. I replaced the roof back on this back in 2011. I was actually working with my stepdad, and the house that I bought was owned by a family friend, but we replaced the roof, okay? There's 1x1s in the freaking ceiling holding up the roof of this house. There was. We reinforced it. But are you kidding me? Are you telling me that we went from a society like this before we even had the power tool, okay? When we were running around with donkeys pulling wagons, and they were building buildings like this. What have we lost as a society that inspired us to actually build beautiful things that when you walk into the building, there's something in your soul, there's something in your consciousness that just it draws you in, and you're like, holy shit, this is absolutely beautiful. And now we're stuck with these gray buildings in these cities that it's just all concrete, square buildings, just straight up, no beauty, no arches, no pillars, no stone carvings into the arches there. No domes, no nothing. We don't have any of that anymore. Why?
Dude, there's temples. I wish I had the information on this, but it's like one of my favorite things. It comes up in my Instagram feed all the time, and I'm always like saving it because it's just so unreal. There's like a temple, I think it might be a Hindu temple or an Indian temple of some sort, that's like in a valley that's carved entirely out of one piece of solid stone. Like you go down into this
they carved it in
into the actual environment, and it's like breathtaking, dude. Like the detail is unfathomable, and like this is an actual, you can walk inside it, and like to this day they're like we don't know we don't know how they did this. We don't know how they did that. We don't know how they built the pyramids. We don't know how they did this. Like it's like, what the fuck?
It was a
don't
chisel.
know.
Hammer and chisel.
Like what? No, like
Right?
you don't know. Like you're out here fucking slamming fucking electrons together at almost the speed of light and creating mini black holes that you can observe for a millisecond, and you're taking fucking photos of it and studying it, and you're making all of these incredible advancements in technology and construction and everything else, and you don't know how they built this fucking temple 1,000 years ago? Like what?
Makes no sense.
Bro, that's the way
None.
it is.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, bro, in fucking 72 hours, I can swab my dog's mouth, and you can tell me you can tell me the total lineage of my fucking dog, and you can't tell me who built this thing fucking 1,000 years ago?
It's called Petra. It's called Petra, and it's referenced in the Bible as the refuge for the Jews at the end of time after the tribulation. That's where God's going to save his remnant.
Is that an actual photo? Because it looks different than the one that I have on IG.
No, that's an actual photo.
Well, even so, it's just like they say, we don't know how this was done. Like it would have. We don't know how they built the pyramids. We don't know. We have no idea. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You have no idea how they built it. What the fuck?
Look at Coral Castle. It's not it. We got one that was built in the early 1900s by one man who was moving 20 and 30-ton stones by himself in Florida.
It's Tartaria. Tom, we got a question for you. What are your thoughts on the Loch Ness Monster? And can I get about Tree Fitty?
I don't know. Loch Ness Monster. I mean, fuck. I don't know if the Loch Ness Monster, as everybody thinks about the Loch Ness Monster, like is legit. Like, who knows? That could just be like a Scottish fucking wives' tale. But like, I mean, I'm sure I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times. Like, we've explored more of space than we've explored of our own oceans. So I wouldn't be fucking shocked at all if there was some sort of prehistoric quote unquote sea monster fucking floating around out there. Like, I wouldn't,
like a megalodon or something.
Yeah, I'd say that's legit. Like, I don't know.
It could be. I mean,
we can't get down there and see. We've explored fucking practically none of space. We got telescopes fucking gazing out into the galaxy right now at fucking 1 million light years away, and we've explored more of, and we've seen more of space than we have of our own oceans. So like, it just, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking aliens were coming out of the ocean, dude. Like, fuck.
Well, the what is it called? The James
Webb Telescope.
Yes, that's basically disproven the idea of the Big Bang Theory and everything we thought we knew about space. The way that what they're seeing out there, the stuff that we actually haven't seen before we sent that telescope out there, it's gotten to the point now where there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that the Big Bang Theory is complete BS, and we actually don't know almost anything about space. It's all just been a guess, and there's an idea that we have about physics that makes sense to us for now, but you look out into space, and different universes play by different rules. And
well,
who knows? So as Joe Rogan said, I'm going to stick with Jesus.
There you go. Do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm big into fucking space, guys. Like, I'm huge into it. So, like, I don't know. Maybe one of the things that I like really, that always stuck with me. I'm always watching, like, I used to read like theoretical physics textbooks and shit when I was like 18, 19 years old, because I was just like interested on being on the cutting edge of like what people understood about space and the nature of reality and whatever the fuck. And there was like not just one scientist, but a group of scientists. I think it's a pretty widely accepted theory now that like essentially like vision, when you're seeing things, like you're not, if you look at the wall or you look at a plant or you look at a dog or whatever, like you're able to see it because there's light refracting off of an object. So you can see, what you're actually seeing is the light that is reflecting off an object, entering your eye, through your iris, hitting your optical nerve, etc. So they're saying that like, and light cannot be destroyed, it like travels forever. So there's like a lot of scientists that say if you went out, light has been reflecting off of Earth for as long. Sorry, I just had an alarm go off. Light has been reflecting off Earth for as long as Earth has existed, from the sun, from whatever nuclear shit that's radioactive shit in space, whatever. So that light that bounces off of Earth goes back into space, and it goes back into space for infinity. So there's this theory that says because light has been bouncing off Earth for infinity, if you were able to exit Earth and travel into space at the speed of light, eventually 100 million light years away, 200 million light years away, whatever, if you turned around and looked back at Earth, you'd be looking at the light that was reflecting off of Earth in prehistoric times. And if you had a telescope powerful enough, you could still see dinosaurs on the surface of the Earth. It exists out there. So,
wow, that blew my mind.
And yeah, and like, I don't know, the shit I think about is, I'm like, fuck, we're sitting around shining these fucking telescopes out into space that see for fucking 100 million light years. Why the fuck are we not sending a fucking telescope out and turning it around and looking back? Because that'll tell you who the fuck built the pyramids, and that'll tell you what the fuck happened here before us, and it will give you answers to things that we can't explain.
What is your favorite thing about space?
What's this?
Go in there. Go in there.
Oh, okay. So our producer Eddie.
Been to the moon in such a long time.
That's go in there.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question.
Yeah,
I want to know. But I think.
So that is basically the idea that we didn't go to space at all, or that we had no manned missions out to space.
That's Buzz Aldrin, bro. He's been. I think he's passed away now, but he went on like a fucking media tour before he passed away. He went on fucking Conan O'Brien. He did a bunch of interviews, and he said 1,000 times, "We never went." Like somebody asked him, "What's the scariest part about going to space?" And he said, "Well, I think it was Conan asked him, well, what was the scariest part?" And he said, "Well, it would have been scary if we went, but we didn't."
Yeah.
So I you know. And that goes back to when I was saying about Bohemian Grove, when it's so hard for people to take shit seriously, because Buzz Aldrin, the world famous fucking astronaut, he's going around on a media tour telling people we never went to space, and the first thing that the fucking government did was, oh, he's crazy. He has dementia, he has mental illness, he's not speaking physically, and that's what they do. So if you start talking about Bohemian Grove, you start talking about aliens in the ocean, you start talking about the fucking Loch Ness Monster, whatever. Oh, that person's crazy. That person's mentally unwell, and they just immediately cause everybody to discard your point of view and your opinion because you're quote unquote crazy. So how could anything that they delegitimize people that have interesting perspectives that run contrast to the mainstream narrative by just saying that person's mentally unwell, they're crazy, fuck them.
Exactly. Eddie brought up Antarctica, and then that's another rabbit hole.
Fucking right.
That would be
another big one, bro. Like we're gonna have to. Okay, I'm coming back next week.
All right. Because
I've been absorbing this shit for so long, bro. Like I've seen that Buzz Aldrin clip like 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm. And what are you supposed to think about it? Like when he went to Antarctica and he was talking about there's pure evil there, right? Why do all the nations, or maybe the nations of the world, why do they have this treaty on Antarctica? Like why aren't we allowed to go explore it in the way that we should be capable of? Why don't we have it mapped out specifically? Why is there so much secrecy about it? It's the same thing with the Grand Canyon. Same thing with space. There's a lot of this stuff that we're just not allowed to know, and it's frustrating as all get out because with the invention of the internet, it feels like we're supposed to be able to have access to this stuff, and it feels like as American citizens we should have the right to be able to access the knowledge that that humanity has acquired over the last however many thousands of years that we've been here. The internet is supposed to be the accumulation of human knowledge, and that's what's going to better humanity, is that the fact that we can have all of these ideas congregate and build off of each other. But no, we weren't allowed to do that because the government sits there and goes, no, you're not allowed to know that. You're not allowed to know this. We're going to give you little tidbits here and there about that. But you're not going to, all this stuff is classified and we're not allowed to know it.
Yeah.
How are we going to further humanity when we're dealt this stuff? Come on.
No, you can't, man. You can't, because it's in the interest of national security. Yeah. That's the biggest lie you've been ever told.
Yeah.
That's the big question to me too. Is just like, why? Like, why are we not allowed to know like where we came from? Why are we not allowed to know like who built the pyramids and how they built the pyramids? Like, what is the reason why? Like, why are we not allowed to?
People would believe in God if you told them.
Shut the fuck up, Eddie. Why are we not allowed? Why are we not allowed? Why are we not allowed to know like what's in Antarctica? Like, what divine truth is that going to tell us about our existence here? That's going to disrupt this entire system to such a massive fucking degree. Like, what is the answer to that?
They want control because they're feeding you bread and circuses. They want to hold you down. I'm serious.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck. Like, for what is like? What benefit are they getting from it?
Control,
we're all gonna die one day, and then they're gonna be doing the same shit to our kids, and our kids And like, what are they doing? What, like, they're gonna die when it was all for monetary. If it was all to control and make money involved, it's like you can't take that with you either. So what is the reason for all of this shit?
I'm telling you, I laid it out earlier tonight. It's because in the 60s, our government were trying to find demonic entities. They found them. They buried the evidence, and our government has been controlled by these demonic entities, systematically separating us from God. They're going to reveal themselves soon, and they're going to reveal themselves soon as aliens because okay, think about this. In North Korea, people don't have the idea of individual freedom. They don't have they believe that Kim Jong-un is so efficient that he never has to poop, right? Because he digests things
they think he's like legitimate God, I think.
Yes, they do. That's what they're taught. But
yeah.
But our iteration, like our generation, we've been separated from God for so long, systematically, slowly through our entertainment industry, through popular culture and through government for so long that now we don't have the proper idea of what God is supposed to be, and the demonic entities are going to reveal themselves to us as aliens, in the near future. At least that's what we're told.
In November.
In November, yes.
November, yeah. Mark your calendars. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's really difficult to like go down all of these different rabbit holes, and we've gone down a bunch just in the last 2 hours that we've been talking. It's like it's really difficult to like go down all these different paths and like stay super focused, and it's really easy to get lost in it and confused and talk in circles. And then this one thing that you're talking about connects to this other thing that you touched on. So you go back to that, which leads to this other thing. And it's just this big web, this messy web. So then alarms to feed the dogs. But then you're just left with like this big mess of shit swimming around in your head, and even more questions. Why? How? Like, how does it end? Does it end? How long has this been going on? Is all this crazy shit I've even been talking about, like, have I convinced myself this is true, but it's not actually? Like, the confusing and so intricate that you just kind of get left with like, well, we just had a 2-hour conversation that I really fucking enjoyed, but I'm no closer to the truth than I was when I started,
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom. Every night before I go to bed, I pray with my son, the Serenity Prayer. And like I love entertaining theories because it's the closest thing to truth that I've actually found is in the Bible. Everything told throughout history, like everything I was taught in school, the food pyramid, general history. I was told that the Native Americans were genocided. I was told that that bread is like the main category, or grains is what you should eat. I was told that all vaccines are safe and effective, and that was like a revelation. I was told that we knew how to fix sicknesses, and to be honest, I feel like a lot of that stuff, or even the Big Bang Theory, right? I was taught that was the general understanding of the world, and I thought that humans knew a lot more than what we actually know. And once I started growing up and realizing that nobody really knows anything, and we're all just kind of hoping, like everything is built off of faith to some extent, the closest thing that I've found to be true is from the Bible itself. And that's the only way that I can really explain as far as how close I can get to truth is just reading the Bible. But every night before I go to bed, I pray with my son the Serenity Prayer, just to try and keep that understanding and maybe that humility in asking God that I need to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And so a lot of this stuff, I really love entertaining it, and I love trying to expand my mind with different theories and you know, what's coming in the future, what happened in the past, how things came to be. I really love all that stuff, but it's consistent every night in that I really try to keep my humility in the way that you know, I have to trust in Jesus in order to calm down that anxiety or the you know, worrying about tomorrow and all the stuff that's going on in the government, who I should trust, all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, there's certain people in my life that I have come to trust that have given me very genuine vibes, and Steve has been one of those. You know, we've been talking for multiple years now. Tom, you've been one of those people as well now. I know we haven't been talking for too long, but you actually seem like one of those really genuine people. And for some reason, I don't know why, but there's been like I've been drawn to whatever it is that you're trying to convey. I've been really drawn to it, and I know you know there's millions of other people out there. Yeah, that have been doing that as well. But I really appreciate how genuine you've been, not only with us, but in your art and with the way you've been seeking God. And I mean, just the path that you took to get where you are, I absolutely love it. So I don't want to keep.
I really appreciate
I don't want to
that,
keep
brother.
too long.
Thank you. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. I don't know, man. Just got into this fucking entertainment business and just met enough people along the way, and people that I looked up to, and people that I thought were really kick-ass dudes from a distance. And then I don't know, man, you just start meeting people and experiencing things, and especially in this industry, there's a real lack of authenticity. There's a real shortage of genuine people, and I wasn't always like this, bro. When I was a kid, like when I was 14, I wanted to do the Jay-Z hand signs and be part of them and be one of the top musicians and da-da-da-da-da. And then you start like making your way and you start meeting these people, and you're just like, man, these people are devoid of like anything real. Like, they're fucking losers. They're not who I thought they were in their music video. And you discover that they're like really into some like darker shit. And you watch these celebrities, bro. How many actors, how many musicians, how many of these people have you seen over the years that have on TV, in a music video, whatever, they seem like they have it all, and then they're overdosing and dying, or they're committing suicide, or they're jumping off a fucking balcony, or like this terrible shit. And that's because, you know, they're playing for the wrong team, bro. They're playing for the wrong team. So, 100%. You know, when I was a kid and I didn't have a full understanding of life, and I thought that shit was cool too. So, you know, you get to a place where you're just like, you know what? None of that's cool. Those people aren't cool. They're not genuine. They're not telling the truth. This is a big facade. And you just realize that, like, hey, man, like, the only thing that I have in this world is like God, my family, my friends, and myself. And it's like the biggest thing is like all of these guys can wear the watches and the necklaces and drive the cars and have the houses and put it in music videos and like just from an artistic place, you are never going to be, I'm never going to be as good a rapper as Jay-Z. I'm never going to be as good as a producer as Hit Boy. I'm never going to be as famous as Eminem. I'm not going to be any of those things, nor do I want to be. But the one thing that I know that I can do better than every one of those fucking guys is just be myself and just like be me and connect with. I don't want Eminem's fans. I don't want Jay-Z's fans. I don't want people that are attracted to those things that I was attracted to when I was a kid, because that shit is vacant, void of any fucking real meaning at all. The one thing that you guys do, that I do, and that other people that I enjoy, that I like do, is that they just be themselves. And whether that's sitting on a podcast for 2 hours and talking about all of this wild shit that Jay-Z's not going to talk about and Eminem's not going to talk about, and all these people, and maybe 10,000 people watch this and they go, oh, those three guys are fucking crazy. Perfect, bro. Like, I'm just here doing me. I'm doing my thing. I'm speaking my truth. And if that doesn't resonate with you, I don't want you as a fucking fan. I don't have a diamond watch and a fucking Ferrari and all the, like, if that's what you like, if that's what you want from your quote unquote celebrities or people that you're entertained by, then go somewhere else. Because, like, I'm here trying to talk about fucking interdimensional space aliens that live in the ocean. So fuck off.
Right on.
You know what I mean? So
right after this too.
But I'm very, like, when you say something like that, like, dude, man, I feel like you're genuine and I enjoy hanging out with you and shit. I really appreciate that, bro, because there's just as many, for every one person that says that, there's going to be 100 people out there that are like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. He's crazy. This is what he believes in, this wild shit. So, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe, bro. And I'm just like super blessed to, like, had the opportunity and experience in life to see through those things. Which just allowed me to just be like, yo, I don't have to rap about the things these guys are rapping about. I don't have to drive the cars these guys are driving. I don't have to dress the way they're dressing. I just want to just be myself. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing a costume and doing that bullshit. So, you know, this is like where I'm at. And when somebody like yourself says something like that to me, man, it really does mean a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I enjoy you guys too. I feel like you guys are the same way. I feel like you guys are very genuine, and like, you're new friends, you know what I mean? But sometimes you meet somebody and you know within 5 minutes, oh, this is one of the ones that's going to be around forever. And I feel like you guys are going to be around forever in my life, and I appreciate you.
Dang, man, to me that's an honor, because like I only started my X a couple years ago, and I was, you know, doing my own thing. I was listening to you before I even opened an X account, and like. It's kind of mind blowing, because like I've respected you, like your music and everything you've done, like just being independent and not conforming to, you know, these sick people that are in the music industry. And, you know, in my opinion, your music is better than anything Eminem, Jay-Z, all these whack rappers put out now, like, because your stuff like speaks to so many people. And like, you know, I don't know, man, like, just I respect the shit out of you, like, for what you do and how you know, like you were talking about authenticity. I think authenticity is like, it's not there anymore. And to find people that are actually out there,
it is. It's just,
you know,
hard to find.
It's just
drowned out.
It's amazing to, you know, see
it. That's like the best fucking, and this is awesome that we just talked about aliens and fucking satanic fucking politicians for 2 hours, and now we're just like in this giant fucking giving each other our flowers sesh. That's a great way to end this. But I just like want to say to like all the people out there, I don't know if there's creatives or artists watching this, or actors, or people that want to have their own podcast or whatever. You guys just said it. Somebody, I don't know if it was Steve, somebody said that, like, it seems like there's nothing real anymore. Like, everything's fake. Right. And that is true. I feel like there's lies on the news. There's lies in the church. There's lies in the music. There's lies in the movies. There's lies everywhere. It's everywhere. That's the real pandemic, is disingenuous bullshit spewed by people that we look up to. And I just want to say to anybody out there that has aspirations of being a musician, an actor, podcaster, whatever it may be conscious of the fact that the entire world right now is wrapped in plastic and mass manufactured and full of shit and fake and disingenuous. And the best way that you can cut through all of that noise is to just don't subscribe to any of it and just be yourself. Just be yourself. Like, shit will resonate with you over your life. Shit that you hear in church will resonate. Shit that you hear on the news will resonate. Shit that your friends say will resonate. Things that you read online will resonate. And if those things resonate as truth to you, adopt it, make it make sense for you, and don't subscribe to any of this mass-produced narratives out there. The mainstream is bullshit. Just be yourself. That's the best way to cut through all of this fakeness, all of this disingenuous shit. The best way is to just be yourself, speak your truth. It cuts through all the fake shit. And that's what I would encourage anybody out there who wants to be a musician, an actor, a podcast, or whatever. Just be yourself, speak your fucking truth. People gravitate towards what's real. And when everything's fake, your only job is to be as real and genuine as you can possibly fucking be, and people will come. The people will come if you just keep it fucking real. So just do that.
Right on. Absolutely.
Mark said, "Wow, I experienced exactly what you're saying, Tom." And I think a lot of people are starting to realize these days that the more they stand out and speak the truth. I mean, Steve and I have talked about this a lot on our podcast. Is that the 2020 lockdowns in a lot of ways was like a wake up call to most people, and for me especially, there was a lot of men that I looked up to and I really respected before the government lockdowns that gave into it, and it terrified me, and I decided at that point in time that, okay, I guess why not me, right? Why shouldn't I speak out? Why shouldn't I do this? And I started back then. I started forming the ideas, and then eventually in 2023 created the Cant and started doing everything that we're doing here. But I'm incredibly grateful for you, Tom. You know, my wife commented earlier. She said that you're officially in the Tribe of Patriots gang, which I actually kind of like. I had the idea of the Tribe of Patriots years ago, and that I know that it can never just be done by myself, and that you have to have a tribe, right? And patriotism is love of your country, and your willingness to fight for it. So I wanted the Tribe of Patriots. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care if you're white, black, brown, red, or you know. I'll be a little skeptical of lizard people, but you know, if you're a patriot of this nation and you believe in Jesus Christ and you want the best and you're actually fighting for it, then you're in the Tribe of Patriots, and I will do my damnness to work with you and to make this country a better place. And Tom, I love that you're here. I love that we did this. We should definitely do this again. This was a lot of fun. You guys, please share this.
Tell
podcast.
Eddie I'm sorry for swearing at him. I like Eddie a lot.
Yeah, Eddie's awesome, man. He's been very, very helpful in starting this. I mean, the Patriots Prayer Network. We have a whole bunch of podcasters working. I mean, we all work 9-to-5 jobs. We're all trying to just make this country a better place and be as genuine as possible. And there's a lot of guys out there working for these podcasts. We're not paying them. We're on a similar mission, trying to make this country a better place and doing it as by not selling out and not being, I guess just being as genuine as possible. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sharing it. I really appreciate it. I love the way that this podcast ended, man. I'm getting like it's getting all up in my feels. So
yep. I'm about to start a space right after this, bro.
I got 20 minutes left on my phone. Oh, there's Eddie. Oh, he's gone.
I just jumped in there to say I love you, brother.
I love you too, buddy. I'm sorry I swore at you. I was right in the middle of screaming about aliens.
No, that was a props, Tom.
That was awesome. No worries. I'm clipping that shit.
Okay, good. All right, boys. Okay, I literally have 2% left on my phone, so I'm going to dip before it forces me out. So thank you guys for having me, man. I love the fucking show. I love being here. I love you guys. Let me know next time you want me back, and I'll be here to scream and yell about shit, all right?
Make a video for Satanic Rappers.
All right. Adios, guys.
All right.
Peace. Thanks, Tom.
Man.
Oh, that was great, man. I loved it. This is, by the way, you guys, this is the longest podcast we've ever done. It's 2.5 hours almost.
Well, the second, the 2024 election special. That was like 6 hours.
That wasn't Cowboys and Indians. This is Cowboys and Indians, bud.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's end the show.
Okay.
We'll do a space.
Yeah. I gotta go put my kids to bed anyhow.
2,700 on Rumble, guys. Without their help, I did it, so they didn't. Screw them.
I don't know what he's referencing, but hey, you guys, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna keep doing this. We'll be back on Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I love you guys. Take care.
Peace.
God bless you all. God bless America. We'll see you next time.
My people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PPN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
PPN on your bumper.
I'm Tom MacDonald. This is the Patriot Prayers Network. Check it out. Lots of good TV. Lots of cool people. Tune in. Keep it locked.
Know where I stand. I'm the white boy with the middle fingers in the air, dog. We don't give a what. 100 white boys gonna hold me down anywhere, dog. We think that you suck. My Patriots the craziest. They ain't afraid of breaking fists on faces. If you really wanna taste of this, no safety tip. The same mistake and spray the clip. I pray you miss, cause if you don't, they gon' go wacko. Automatic gun smoke like tobacco. Never hit a lady, but it's pretty hard to tell if you're a girl or a they, them. There's these, that, those. I ain't never gonna take a knee for the anthem. Smack them. I don't give a damn, can't stand them. Gang full of randoms. Fan with a handgun. Run up in your mansion, leave it all abandoned. I was raised to be brave to the grave. United States, we love the country that they've been corrupting. Go woke and go broker if you ain't obeyed. My people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American flag.